Would you guys like to see the very first magic trick I ever did? Well, to do the very first magic trick I ever did...
That's Jim Vagias at work. Every year, thousands of school children throughout the Northeast meet Vagias, who, as Magic Jim, delivers messages about the importance of reading, how to create a bully-free environment, and the celebrations other cultures use to acknowledge the winter solstice and other holidays. Magic Jim takes his passion for teaching and magic tricks to school assemblies to entertain his young charges while making his point. In the beginning, Magic Jim's assemblies focused on reading and literacy.
I talked to students about how, in order to be a magician, I went to the most magical place of all, and it's not Disney World, it's not a magic shop, it's the library. And in the library, there are thousands of books about anything you want to know about. And as I'm doing this, as I'm talking, I'm doing an incredible magic trick. And you can hear a pin drop at that point in the assembly because the kids are mesmerized by the magic, but more importantly, they're getting the connection between the fact that if they want to learn something, they go to the library to take a book out.
So if you want to learn how to be a magician, you want to learn anything, where's the first place to go? The library. Right.
After delivering his literacy message for nearly 10 years, Vagias says he was approached and asked to talk to the kids about bullying.
Well, this morning, we are going to talk about how to bully-proof your school. Everybody say, ooh. And the best way to bully-proof your school is to try to be the best person you can be. That's called being a person of good character.
I did an extensive amount of research. I spoke to principals, I spoke to social workers, I spoke to some of the experts in the field, and wrote a program using magic and using huge audience participation to teach young people positive character traits and to give them the tools to deal with bullies who won't go away. That assembly, from the very first time I did it, was hugely popular, far more than I had ever dreamed. And I have been doing about 350 of those assemblies a year. During the show, we'll have a game on stage where we'll bring a student up, and we'll play a game where he has to try to follow the rules, and the rules keep getting more and more difficult and funnier as we go along. Now, we never make fun of a kid. We never make, the joke is never at the child's expense. It's always at my expense. But at the very end of that exercise, something very, very magical happens. And we make a point of saying, you have done something really difficult. You followed a really hard rule. I'm proud of you. And because you followed a hard rule, it shows me that you're a person of character. It shows me you have responsibility. And then the student who's come up on stage gets a prize.
I said, no, he's doing it right. Keep saying yes. Are you a person of good character?
Yes.
A person of responsibility? Yes. Can you follow rules?
Yes.
Are you married?
No.
Keep saying yes. Just keep saying. You still have to say yes. Can you do that?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you positive?
Yes.
Are you wearing pink shoes?
Yes.
Every year during the winter holiday season, Vagias uses his way with children to give them some insight into how those outside the Judeo-Christian tradition commemorate important religious times. During those assemblies, he uses magic and comedy to tell the kids about Kwanzaa, Ramadan, and other high holy celebrations around the world.
Well, there's a holiday that's 1,000 years old where people celebrate it by not eating, by fasting. That holiday is the Muslim holiday of Ramadan. Everybody say Ramadan. Ramadan. Muslims have been celebrating Ramadan for 1,000 years by waking
Vagias
up
recalls the
every
reaction
morning
of one
before
little
the
girl
sun
to a past winter presentation.
It was beautiful because her eyes lit up when I started talking about it, and she started nodding vigorously in affirmation. And I realized that she was Hindu, and she was being affirmed, that kids don't talk about her holiday a lot. And this was a way that now I was championing who she was and what she was about. It was great. It was really one of those wonderful moments.
He says the teachers can learn something as well.
I'll very often have teachers coming up to me afterwards saying, you know, we've heard about some of these holidays. We sort of knew what they were about, but we're thrilled at the fact that not only do our kids know what it's about, but we now learn what the meaning of Ramadan or Kwanzaa is.
In addition to the school assembly programs, Vagias offers presentations on bullying for parents and faculty, in-classroom hands-on show-and-tell magic workshops, and can provide his services to help parents groups with fundraising. He's so sure of the effectiveness of his performances that he pledges to refuse his fee if those hiring him are not fully satisfied, a guarantee he says he's never had to honor. Find out more about Magic Jim Vagias and his programs at educationalproductions.com. For Stage Magazine, I'm Jim Hilgen.